thinking about it, and here we are. It's like impossible not to feel happy both looking at you smiling and the colorful background.
Thank you.
Like, I'm just so happy right now. And I should have told you, sorry for anybody who sees this in the future. I should have told you that one time I had one issue where my computer decided to take a nap in the middle of the live stream and I disappeared. So if that happens, you just keep going.
Okay.
Like, don't even, and I'll come back in.
Sounds good.
Yeah. This is stress-free singing tonight.
I like it.
So I have never been very fashion forward. And the pandemic really, like, whatever effort I used to put in was just gone completely during the pandemic. I've just like given in to the pink sweatpants. Hi, John. And but the other night I played at the Z, and for the first time in a really long time, I like put makeup on and did the whole thing and realized how good it feels to like feel like a woman. So I put makeup on tonight. I don't know if you can tell.
Nice.
I just want one person to be like, "Hey, you put effort in. Good job."
It looks great. And I love your glasses too, like the red.
Thank you. Are you a glasses wearer?
I am a glasses wearer. I wear contacts most of the time, but I do have glasses, and I like glasses.
It's okay, glasses are a whole thing. Hi, Teresa.
Yep.
Glasses are a whole thing because you get a pair you love, and then your prescription changes. And then what do? Because they don't make these frames anymore. So I'm just like, I can kind of see with them, but these are 2 prescriptions ago.
I can see enough.
Yeah, I can function, you know. Oh my gosh, guys, I am so excited to be here with Molly O'Leary. So Molly and I have been like bouncing around the same circles in Massachusetts for a long time. Have we played a show together before, like a real one?
I don't think, not yet.
I just know that I know you and like you, and then I'm thinking to myself, like, have we done anything in person? And I don't think, well, but we should.
We should. Hell yeah. That'd be great.
We'll just make it occur. Let's manifest it.
Yep.
I've been seeing a lot of people manifesting things.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Jackie. So Molly is just like the kindest person. And I think, you know, the singer-songwriter world can get a little bit like competitive. It can get competitive, right? Mm-hmm. But you were just, and this is all what I'm picking up because we've never really done anything in person, but you just seem like such a giving, selfless person. Like Molly has supported every fundraiser that I have done ever. And every time I've released a song, Molly has like shared it and listened to it. And I just think you're so awesome. We need more Mollys.
Oh, thank you. And right back at you. You've always been so supportive as well. And I know what you mean. I feel like the music world can like get competitive, but I'm grateful. I just feel like the singer-songwriter circles I'm navigating with like you and my friends from New Bedford and Boston and whatnot, everyone is just like so super kind, and we're just fighting through any pressures to like be competitive in that way, and we're like, no, we're just gonna all be friends and support one another. It's really nice.
Rising tides, right? I am a rising tides person, because if you do well, that's only going to help me, and vice versa, and that's what I think. Molly, can we hear a song? Can we just jump right in?
Yes.
You couldn't see me. I was just like excitedly tapping my toes.
Absolutely. All right. So this is a song called Go Rogue, and all the originals tonight are from an album that I just put out a few months ago called Holding Space, that was recorded at Bongo Beach with John Mayhew. Hi, John. And this one is called Go Rogue, and it is about being vulnerable and brave to tell the people that you care about that you love them, and also about recognizing that life is short. So this is Go Rogue, and my name is Molly O'Leary. I've been walking this road for some time, a quarter of a century. I've been learning lessons of my own kind, and some have made me cry, yeah. Some say there's a script to follow, but then they need pills to numb the pain. So I say tear it all up and write your own story, full of sin and shame. And all I know is that deep in my soul I am desperate to tell you that I love you so. All I know, yeah, is that I'm gonna be bold and say I think you and I should try and go yeah, go It took love and loss, a loved one losing her memory. Had to scream and shake to release the rage. For me to see that life's too short to play it safe. Well, finally I'm not afraid. Not afraid. Oh, all I know is that deep in my soul I am desperate to tell you that I love you so. All I know, yeah, is that I'm gonna be bold and say I think you and I should try. I think you and I should try. Go yeah, go
Gorgeous. That was so beautiful. And I loved the line. What is the line in there about sin? Used the word sin.
Oh, yeah. It talks about sin and shame. It's like, never mind, I'm not going to follow the script. I'm going to just have this life of sin and shame or something like that.
Yeah. No, I really loved that line and related to it and needed to hear that. Like, so I grew up in a pretty fundamentalist church. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the whole idea of Catholic guilt too, like that stuff sticks with you all the time. Like I newly love cursing, and like I'll swear sometimes, and all of a sudden feel like I am an awful person. You know, it's like so ingrained in me. But yeah. That's going to be my anthem now. Like I'm just gonna. Michael is here, and Craig loved that too. Hey Nate, nice. And Keith's here from Minnesota, and John Mayu is here. So. Yay. That's a whole thing. I was trying to think if I had anything in the same ballpark message-wise. And this is the closest I can come. Hi, Ryan. Do you know Ryan Edge? So I was thinking about, like, you know, when you first start dating somebody and you're just so cautious about what you say and do and what you dress, how you dress, and, like, all these things because you're putting on a show. And I'm just so happy to be in a place in my life where I don't have to do that anymore. Like I can just wear the pink sweatpants and like that's just I'm accepted for the sweatpants. and so that's kind of what this song's about. I'm making sure I'm tuned here. Okay, here we go. And I'm gonna remember to do this. If you tune in every week, you know that sometimes I forget. I actually usually forget to promote my own things. Ah. You think you know me like a name in a magazine. Carefully curated positive publicity. Barely scratching the surface. You gotta dig deep down. Sure, I'm pleasant when the days are sunny over a glass of champagne. I am a delight with the lights out, honey, but I hope you still hold me when it rains. When it rains, when it rains, when it rains, when it rains, when it rains. You like my laughter? It's just a nervous tick. Find a song on the radio so I can sing along with it. Afraid to let you see clearly, so I hold back so much. Sure, I'm pleasant when the days are sunny over a glass of champagne. I am a delight with the lights out, honey, but I hope you still hold me when it rains. When it rains, when it rains, when it rains, when it rains, when it rains. Rains. 'Cause everything is beautiful when everything is beautiful. But what about when it all gets real? 'Cause I'm pleasant when the days are sunny over a glass of champagne. I am a delight with the lights out, honey, but I hope you still hold me when it rains. When it rains, when it rains, when it rains, when it rains, when it rains. Thank you.
So beautiful.
Is my guitar too loud?
I don't think so. I thought it sounded like a good balance for my phone.
Okay, cool. I will trust you. Dorothy's here and your mom's here. Hi, Anne. All right. So, I just want
what album was that from, real quick?
it is from January 10th.
I was like, I haven't heard that one, and I'm always listening to you on Spotify, so I was wondering.
Oh, hi, David. Thank you. Hey, Mark. So that one, I'm going. Have you heard of Walt Wilkins before?
No.
He is an amazing singer-songwriter. Hey, Denise. Everybody needs to look up Walt Wilkins, particularly the song Trains I Missed. It is like my driving anthem. He's amazing. Anyway, I'm going into the studio with him in March, and we're going to do 4 songs, and I write too many songs, and I don't know which ones to do. That was a long way of saying that.
That's exciting. I can't wait for it.
This is like my trying them out ground, so if people hear one that they think is particularly good, please tell me. Because, okay, got it. So I just also want to say that I'm so glad that we get to do this and I don't have to pay attention to the news. I think that I never want to listen to the news again. Doesn't that sound like a good idea? Like, do we even need to listen to
Great idea.
It's
Wonderful.
just so stinking depressing. I can't take any more in my soul. Speaking of which, mental health. Was that a smooth transition?
It was great. Flawless.
Oh, man. It's just like, I don't know. It's just such a weird time to be a human. And how lucky are we that we get to express these things with guitars and songs and all of that. We don't need to get deep right now. I just needed to say all that. My husband's like really invested in the news, and every time we're in the same room together, he's like telling me whatever he's seen. I'm like, I can't take that. I just want to study the 16th century, please.
But at least we have music to write about all those feelings and get it out somehow.
Yeah, or just like dance to Total Eclipse of the Heart and not worry about it.
Exactly.
which is totally valid.
Yep.
Hi, Teresa. Thank you. What are you going to play next for us, Molly?
I'm going to play... I know I told you when we were sound checking too, but just so folks at home know, I have 2 kittens and they are sort of trying to attack my tapestry behind me. So if it falls at all, just roll with it. It's okay. Or if you hear scratching, them.
I feel like people are gonna like that. Like they're gonna enjoy. Are they kittens? Like itty bitty?
They're like 6 months, so they're not like very big, but they're also not as small as they were. They're like in the middle.
They're like bigger rascals.
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, when one comes over at some point. Oh, look at that. That was good timing. Come here. Here one is.
Hi. What's that kitty's name?
This one is Luna. I always have to look at their face because they look so similar. Yeah.
Hi, Luna.
Very cute.
Oh, I miss my cats. Okay.
Yes, cats and animals. Those are good for mental health.
Yes. Hi, Trevor. All right, I'm turning it over to you.
Thank you. All right, so this next one is an original called I Wonder. And there is this phrase in the bridge of this song where it talks about like how I want the world to be a holding space, which is how I came up for the title of the album. So a theme that runs through the album really kind of sprung from this song about rather than pushing away difficult emotions that I didn't want to deal with, that I was trying to avoid. Instead, I like welcomed them in and gave them a space to live and exist, and I felt them out. And then really that's kind of what led to the whole album being written. So I have to thank this song for that, and it's called I Wonder. There's a heaviness in my heart, and I feel all alone. There's a stranger stuck in my mirror, who's only skin and bone. And I whisper to her, better off, they'd all be. Better off, without me. And I scream, will I ever be enough? I wonder, will I ever be loved? Will I ever be enough? I wonder, will I ever be loved? I wonder. Feels like I'm walking on a thin line over a world on fire, and I hear the snapping of the wire, and suddenly I'm burning up, I'm burning alive. Will I ever be enough? I wonder, will I ever be loved? Will I ever be enough? I wonder, will I ever be loved? I wonder. This is what happens when you get brainwashed by your TV. to wonder, do they like me? I wish this whole world was a holding space for every thought and every emotion and every mistake. Will I ever be enough? I wonder, will I ever be loved? Will I ever be enough? I wonder, will I ever be loved? Will I ever be enough? I wonder, will I ever be loved? I wonder.
That was absolutely beautiful. Teresa loved that too.
Oh, that's so nice.
Can you talk to me about the brainwashed line? Is that meaning like a person or the messaging of the world?
I'm sure it could be both, depending on how someone wants to interpret it. But when I wrote it, I was talking about the messaging of the world. Because it said, this is what happens when you get brainwashed by your TV.
By your TV.
Yeah, your TV. So it was more, we were just talking about TVs and how we don't like them. So it was more like the societal messaging and whatnot.
Dude, that is so poignant because that is what happens to us all day, every day. Like anytime we consume media or in a store, like anywhere. Alison Medeiros loved that too. It's just like all these subliminal messages making us think that, oh, I need wrinkle cream and, like whatever the thing is.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. Like people used to exist without wrinkle cream. That's kind of...
Whoa.
What?
But yes, that's exactly it. So I'm happy that you understood what I was trying to say.
Well, it's just like, I have teenage girls. So I just live that all day, every day. And then even in myself, like I've been trying to model for them like good self-esteem and loving myself and caring for myself. And it's so hard when you've had an entire lifetime of being told you are not enough without the wrinkle cream or whatever the thing is, It's nuts. Human beings, my goodness. So the other reason I was asking you is I have a bunch of relatively new songs I wrote about being groomed by people. And I've never actually talked about this publicly before. Your mom gives you hearts too. I've talked about this publicly before, but my mom and I both, and I didn't realize it had happened to me too until recently. After my dad died, my mom was really vulnerable and kind of got brainwashed or manipulated or groomed, what have you, by like people who do that to people all the time. Like they see a vulnerable person and they say all these things that it's almost like they have this script, of like how to say the right things to the person to like separate them from their family and make them feel like they need that person. And Brendan says hi. And I had this moment recently with my therapist where I was talking about some old relationship that doesn't, like I'm happily married now, but it still bothers me because it felt like this huge love that I had lost somehow. And when I described the whole thing to her, my therapist said, you realize that wasn't real and you had been groomed that whole time, right? And I was like, what? I had no idea. And it was such a freeing moment. And so all these songs about that have come to light since that moment. I'm talking way too much because I don't have many
No
people
way.
to
I
talk
love
to.
it all because I've actually had a very identical moment with my own therapist about a very similar situation. So I'm like, yes, I want to hear the song.
It's wild. So there's a lot of them. I'm going to start with this one that I didn't really know it's not necessarily about me. It's about some people I've seen in my life who, you see people that are in abusive relationships and you're like, why would they stay? And it's like it's so hard. Think about how hard it is for anybody to make any tiny change in their life, whether it be like you're trying to drink more water, like it's really hard. And then like that's your whole life. You know, it's scary. And so I wrote this from the perspective of someone who's finally been able to leave an abusive situation. And Michael sent you a heart. I'm going. Here we are. All right, I haven't done this one in a while, y'all. I didn't know I could until I did. I just walked out and took a deep breath. I gave everything I had inside until I knew there was no me left. Words can be as hard to swallow as a gun. It's like you handed me one. Then you said, what you gonna do about it now? There's nowhere to run. Baby, you're done, done, done. Where you going? Who you gonna call? They won't catch your fall. You left them all. And I don't think you know I'm not a fool. I just got caught up in your blue. To dark words too many times, and you start believing like you're some needy creature. You don't know your beginning or where he ends. Eyes can be as hard to escape as a knife. Let me walk away with my life. Let me walk away. Don't tell me what you're gonna do about it now. There's nowhere to run. Baby, you're done, done, done. Where you going? Who you gonna call? They won't catch your fall. You left them all. But I don't think you know I'm not a fool. I just got caught up in your God, I feel the shame. Might say you're the abuser, but I think I'm the same. Oh, what you gonna do about it now? There's nowhere to run. Baby, you're done, done, done. Where you going? Who you gonna call? They won't catch your fall. You left them all. And I don't think you know I'm not a fool. I just got caught up in your blue. Thank you.
So good.
Thank you. I started a half step too high.
What was that?
I said I started a half step too high.
Oh, I couldn't tell. That's beautiful. I mean, I love all the words, and then also vocally, I was just thinking about how, like, it was also beautiful, and I love when you flip to your falsetto. It's like right through my heart.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been working really, really hard. Hold on. One of my favorite musical words is melisma. Do you all know the word melisma? It sounds like a medical condition. Mm-hmm. It's just when you it's just multiple notes on one vowel. It's like Whitney Houston, like the. I've never been able to do that. So I've been working really, really hard the past 2 years to try to like have one piece of vocal acrobatics I can
Nice.
So I'm glad you liked that.
You have a lot of vocal acrobatics.
Thank you. Michael, Muses in the Vineyard. We're doing another Muses in March 12th. If anyone's watching from New Jersey, I'm going to be at Muses in the Vineyard. It is on my website, and I would love to see it. And it does feel like a lifetime ago. Michael, I think you're talking about Muses in the Vineyard. I remember, you know Barry Gross, right? The bass player. Molly, do you know Barry?
Oh, I don't think so. Not yet.
Oh, he's in Westport. He's killer. But anyway, Michael, I think that was the first show I played with Barry, and I think it was like 2015 or 14. Help me remember. So speaking of events, Molly is like kicking some butt right now. Tell us about The Last Band Standing. I'm so excited for you.
Yes, thank you. So on April 9th, I'm really excited that me and the band, so it's the band that recorded for the album with John at Bongo Beach, we're competing in The Last Band Standing, which is put on by the New England Music Awards. So we had to submit our music and whatnot, and they let us enter their competition.
So like not just anybody got here. Like you had to go through a process, and a lot of people did not get through.
Right. So I'm very grateful. And so the first round is April 9th, and then, which is at the Union Tavern in Somerville. It starts at 7:30. Yes, and if you buy a ticket online, if you can go with you and your friends and your fam, buy it under my name. It says like Molly O'Leary. You can stay for the whole show. That's just how they track how many tickets I've sold. And then if we make it past that round, then we play in the finals in May at the Hard Rock Cafe. So
yes. So if you're a Massachusetts person, you should go to mollyolearymusic.com. Did I get that right?
Yes.
And get tickets and go support her. It's because I have to tell you all, when you're in any sort of competition, it's terrifying. Keith says congratulations. But for me, like, performing is never scary until I know that there's a panel of judges judging me in front of the audience. And then it's like, there's a whole next level thing. So having people there that are there for you makes a world of difference.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah. Definitely. So come on out.
Do it. What you got next, Molly O'Leary?
I'm trying to think. Which one do I want to do next? Well, I know that we had talked about on the show tonight, bringing up NIDA and Awareness Week for Eating Disorders. So I think I'm going to play that song next. This one is called 13, and it is the last song on the album, and it's a very special song for me that John Mayu also worked on very hard with me, and he had just had so many cool creative ideas for the production. So you can also check it out on a streaming service, or you can buy the album from me to hear that full band version. But I'm going to play it acoustic tonight, which is the way that it was written probably about like a year ago when I was trying to get all these emotions out. And the number 13 symbolizes death and also rebirth. So parts of it are sad, but it's also about healing and persevering and overcoming and being reborn. And in the first verse, I talk about Anna's curse, which is a reference to anorexia, because that is an eating disorder that I struggled with for a while, especially in college. And I'm very grateful that I'm like 2.5 years like in recovery from that, and the health issues I had resolved, thankfully, thanks to my therapist and whatnot, which we can talk about after. But this song is called 13, and it was about that whole recovery process for me. Just kidding, that's not the note it starts on. The ocean waves swept my ring away, an heirloom passed down by those in the grave. Maybe that cameo held Anna's curse, and now that it's gone, I'm finally free of her. I'm free, breaking free from the patriarchy. You can can say what you want, what you need, but it's not gonna stop me. So get ready for the disappointment. 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna let you down hard and not feel guilty. I'm gonna let you down hard and not say sorry. No apology is necessary. And if you think I'm wrong, well, that's just social conditioning. Her white silhouette was a man-made mark to consume our brains and stop our hearts. So I'm letting her go into the sea. I'm gonna reverse the muscle atrophy. So get ready for the disappointment. 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna let you down hard and not feel guilty. I'm gonna let you down hard and not say sorry. Cause no apology is necessary. And if you think I'm wrong, well, that's just social conditioning. Social conditioning. Yeah. She tried to drown me under the waves. Her intent was always to suffocate. But then I came up for it. And with my soul laid bare, and one last desperate prayer, I came up for air. This is what freedom tastes like. Do you want to taste it too? Well, come take my hand and I'll walk with you. 'Cause that's all we're here to do, is walk each other home. Yeah, the system, it tries to fool us, but we're never alone. So step into your power. It's okay to be afraid. As a cherry blossom shower falls on our parade.
Okay. I'm having a hard time getting to my words. So, did you, in that song, give your eating disorder its own persona?
I did.
And is it also the ring? Is the ring?
Yes.
And the eating disorder?
Yes, that was part of the symbolism as well. I actually had this ring that was passed down in my family that I also used when I got married, and then I lost the ring, and it was like I was devastated because it had been passed down. But then it intersected with when I started to get treatment for my eating disorder. So when I was writing this song, I kind of just turned it into this symbol of letting go of this eating disorder that I think also affects people generationally, and it can affect families in so many different ways. So it was about breaking that curse. And so I did personify anorexia as Anna. So it's called Anna's Curse in the song.
Yeah. It's so powerful, and something that I keep wanting to talk about because, as many of you know, one of the people is multiple people very close to me because it runs in families, struggle. And I'm left as the one person who doesn't struggle, who is the support person for all these people. And it's just on the one hand, really, really hard to understand it. And it's just like thinking about the ways that it can impact you. Like, I consider myself a really, really patient person. And I always try to like put myself in someone else's shoes and understand where they're coming from. And I swear, like, I reached a point with supporting eating disorders where I was just like, had run out of patience, like my well was just gone. And then I started, emotionally lashing out and having moments where I'm like, whoa, this is not me. I don't behave like this. And like realizing that eating disorder, even though I'm not really suffering from it, had sucked me into its vortex too. It's just the most insidious thing I've ever seen in my whole life. All that to say, you are so badass. 2.5 years?
Yes. Yep. I think it's about 2.5 now. Yep. August would be a third year. So
Holy
yeah, I'm really grateful.
shnikes.
And I couldn't have done it without my friend Danielle was in recovery too. And so she connected me to like a bunch of resources, and there's this, like, I guess, ideology or philosophy called health at every size. I don't know if you've heard of it before.
Oh, yes.
But okay. And the acronym is HAES, like HAES. And so I had no idea what that was because it's not like really mainstream. So that's awesome that you know what that is. And she introduced me to that, and it just like blew my mind open. And, at first I was like resistant, but then I, wanted to help myself, and I trusted my friend, so I kept diving into it. And then she helped me find a therapist that is trained in health at every size. So it was really thanks to that I was able to recover and get better, and then write songs about it. So
Oh my God. And I'm so grateful that you're able to talk about it with me, because it's just like, it kind of goes back to the wrinkle cream thing we were talking about earlier, with regard to health at every size. Like, we're just sold this line that being healthy is equivalent to being a certain BMI. And one of the things that I've learned that I didn't know is like BMI was invented by an astronaut, right? It was an astronaut. It wasn't a medical doctor that came up with the BMI.
Yes, I know. I didn't know it was an astronaut, but I do remember learning about it in like the health at every size, like articles and podcasts and stuff about how it was like created only based on like white European men. And so they like used this like one group of people to create the BMI. So it didn't like cut across genders or races or any other factors. And so it's like it's not an accurate or valid standard to use. It's very harmful too.
And I've also been reading that it's insurance companies that want it. It's not even really for medical reasons that they want it on your record. It's for insurance. And so the thing I've started to do, because I'm really trying to be an advocate, is to just decline being weighed at a doctor's appointment if my appointment has nothing to do with my weight.
Yep.
Because if I'm there for the flu, you don't really need to know my weight. And
yes.
so that's what I'm trying to do. And I would encourage any of you, like I think there's some doctors like really subscribe to this BMI thing, and it's okay to advocate for yourself. If you feel like being weighed and feel like there's like shame being put on you because of it, you can decline it. I've tried it with 3 different physicians, and none of them have pushed back because it is your health. So that's what I have to say about that.
I'm so happy that you brought that up. I want to be like a cheerleader over here.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you can refuse to be weighed. But sometimes people do push back, actually. Physicians have pushed back on me, which is a struggle. And then I usually end up having to say, like, I don't get weighed as part of my treatment for an eating disorder. And then they're like, oh, okay. But it's like, shouldn't even have to give a reason. Like, it's everyone's right to refuse to be weighed. And there might be like certain medical situations where you have to be. Like, I've heard like maybe if you need a medication, they might need it for some reasons. But other than that, like if you go for a checkup and most visits, it's, they don't need it. So it's always your right to refuse to be weighed. And
like if you're going for a sore throat, right? Yeah. And also, the other interesting thing I've noticed in myself is because I got to a point, you can't force recovery on somebody. you can't force them to want to get better. And so when we got to that point here, I was like, okay, well then what I'm going to do is I'm going to model just taking care of myself and hope that the things that I'm doing are going to have more of an impact than the things I was saying. But in doing that, I started reflecting on how all this, like, I've always been a bigger girl. And it's always been a point of shame for me because it was a point of shame for my mom and for her mom. And just realizing how much of that I still hold in my body. It's just so interesting to me what we do to each other just as a society. And I've been loving, there are so many like plus size girls putting videos up, like dancing and just being happy. And I love that. And we need to see more of that because every time I see that, I'm like, oh, there's me. Like, I'm represented now, too. So, anyway, all that. I'm going to play this song. I think it was Keith that requested this last Monday, and we had run out of time, and I didn't get to play it. But this is my song, or one of my songs on the subject. And it doesn't necessarily have to be just about an eating disorder. It could be for any sort of addiction. Because I think one of the hardest things that I've seen is people, when they're in the lowest low, just don't think they can get better. It just, like, there's no visible even path to take, you know? And the message is just like, there is one. You just have to kind of trust that there is one and start taking the steps, and the light will come. So I'm going to say Molly too, and I know I'll unmute you for a second just in case you want to say anything, but like, I sometimes feel weird because I'm not someone who struggles with this. I feel weird talking about it as if I have some expertise. And so I just like, I'm not an expert on this other than seeing the devastation that it can have on people and families. And so.
And thank you for talking about it because it helps to like start conversations and raise awareness. So thank you so much.
Yeah. All about ending any sort of stigma with any of that. Because there shouldn't be any. So hey, if you're enjoying this tonight, you can like our Facebook pages. I'm gonna put mine up here. So this is a song I released last month called Sober. And I wrote this on my back porch because we had truly gotten to this point with my loved one that they just didn't want help. And it was just so heartbreaking to me to watch them fading away. Walking ghost, you lay down slow, too gone to know your bones, they glow. Everybody knows that you're not ready. I'll hold your hand, baby, slow and steady. One small step and it's all over. I hope you know that you can get sober. Silent sleep, your dreams skin deep, bleeding love, too cold to touch. Everybody knows that you are fading, looking at a gravestone, contemplating. One small step and it's all over. I hope you know that you can get sober. Don't want to write it down, the thoughts that steal your crown. looking at a gravestone, contemplating. One small step and it's all over. I hope you know that you can get sober. Thank you. And thank you, Jackie. You made me cry a little bit when you said that the song means something to you, because it was just such a, I don't know, it was just such a hard place to be in. You know, like feeling so absolutely helpless. like I can only, you know, and I think as a support person it can feel it's hard to feel seen, right? Because you don't necessarily have the illness. And so that was the other message out there. It's just like what I always viewed it as, I just wanted to like insert recovery into their brain. Like, here, take this knowledge and let me just shove it in your brain and it will work. And this is just one more question and then we can leave the subject or not. But the only, in my trying to understand it, the things, my understanding at least, and it's probably different for every person, but I think for my person, it was almost like living with another person in her head, constantly telling her awful things about herself. Mm-hmm. You know, and people still say things to me like, why do they keep doing this? And why can't they just stop? And that doesn't make any sense, but it's not like you can't logic yourself out of it. Right? And like the closest thing that I have to my own experience is depression. So like, or anxiety. Like when I am in panic mode, like true anxiety attack, I can think to myself, there's nothing to be worried about, but you can't logic your way out of it. Right. Would you, is that comparable?
Yes, I definitely think it's comparable. And like you said, everyone has different experiences, but for me, I think the anxiety and the eating disorder are like, we're going hand in hand. So it feels very similar of like, you can't logic your way out of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There was something else I was just going to say to you about that. So I've been talking to NIDA throughout this process because their resources have been so valuable. And just a comment to say to anybody struggling, it can be hard. Like if you have a person who's struggling with this or you are, I know wait times are really long to get into programs. Like I know Walden has like a 1.5 to 2 month wait. NIDA responds to you almost instantly. Anytime I was in a really low where I was like, this doesn't seem right to me, is this an indication something is wrong? I have instantly gotten somebody texting me back. So do look at the NIDA resources because they are so helpful. So helpful. I think I just got off on a tangent and forgot what I was going to say because it's just such a. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So I've been working with NIDA and talking to them, and I said to them, because I've loved people, and I do love people who struggle with alcoholism. And I've said to them, you know, it's so crazy to me, it just looks like the same thing. You know, the secrecy and the not being able to get out of this rut and the reasons why we do it. And there's actually been relatively recent studies that I don't think have been published yet linking addiction and eating disorders. Like they're really just it's like same functions in the brain, right? Like it's a coping mechanism.
Yep, I've heard that too, that there are like studies either just out or coming out or both about linking the two, which I find to be interesting. Just like in my family history too, there's been struggles with addiction, so I do find it interesting, and hopefully I think it will be like useful knowledge for us to know about going forward.
For sure, because I feel like there's just more research on addiction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like that's just so readily available. And like, heck, most people know some of the 12 steps.
That's true.
You know, anyway, what do you have next for us, my dear?
Well, actually, yeah, this is a good segue because you were talking about like that connection of eating disorders and addictions. And I wrote this next song. It's called This Carnival for a loved one in my life who struggles with addictions, to let them know that like I'll always be there for them and support them through it. So we are like doing similar vibes tonight, Grace.
I love it.
So this is called This Carnival, and one of the symbols in it is that this person who I love kind of like used up all their tickets for the carnival, meaning that they have to be sober now. And I'm saying, like, I'll do whatever you want and I'll support you through it. And I can give up my tickets too, like, and be sober with you or help you in any way. So this is called This Carnival. Went for a walk today to contemplate and pray, but ended up making a deal with the devil to keep you safe. Lately I've been questioning my faith. Please pour it down the drain, and I will do whatever you say. I'd give up every bottle for the rest of my life, rather than see your body go with flashing lights. This carnival ain't all it's cracked up to be. It's full of lies and hypocrisy. So let's call it quits and cash our tickets in for 2 24-hour chicks. I looked up from my tired feet and found an ocean in front of me. I stared into its obsidian waves like a scrying mirror trying to see my fate, rather than swallow it down. Will you come to my shoulder and cry it out? 'Cause I give up every bottle for the rest of my life, rather than see your body go with flashing lights. This carnival ain't all it's cracked up to be. It's full of lies and hypocrisy. So let's call it quits and cash our tickets in for 2 24-hour chicks. We can have a party all of our own, one we will remember when we're great and old. So don't let your fear keep you from getting clean, 'cause we can always click rewind and repeat. Rewind and repeat.
All I can say is I want you in my corner. What an amazing, what an amazing, loving friend you are. That was beautiful. And the guitar work, I love those changes in the beginning.
Thank you. I know. Do you know the artist James Bay?
I haven't listened to him. I know that he exists.
Yes, I think you'd like him. He is a really cool guitar player, and at the start of quarantine, he started doing like live lessons on YouTube.
Oh,
And so
cool.
I started taking his lessons, and that like chord shape I learned from him. So it's cool.
What is his big hit that I might know?
Let It Go.
How does it go?
Wait. I like am obsessed with him, so give me a second.
Just put you in the spot. Because I know, I feel like I've even taught one of his songs before, but I can't put my finger on it.
Probably. Yeah, you probably have. But no, I'm not going to. You go listen to him.
So this is such a funny thing, and I think about this all the time because we are, as a society, so cavalier about putting alcohol references into things and turning it into a joke. Mm-hmm. And I do it, and I know that I do it. Yet here, like, I am, like, preaching about how we can be more sensitive to people with eating disorders, but then I remember, like, so many people struggle with alcohol, and it's just, like, such a, like, I'm, like, my next song has alcohol references in it, and, like, my show the other night, I kept making jokes about my vodka I was drinking the whole time thinking, because, like, people were laughing at it, so I kept doing it, and then I'm thinking, like, but there are certainly people in this audience struggling to not drink, you know, like, why do I, it's just such an interesting... It's an interesting thing in our world. Mm-hmm. Like, alcohol is just so ingrained in...
Yeah. I know, I do it too. It is interesting. It's, like, so ingrained. And then, I guess, you know, we just notice them more and keep talking about it. But it is so in our subconscious.
Yeah. It just, like, rolls off the tongue. Mm-hmm. So this is a song specific to the person I told you about earlier that I hadn't realized for all these years manipulated me. Mm-hmm. And so I wrote this after my therapy session, which was so freeing. Like, it's funny too, because I hadn't even, like, again, I'm happily married. I don't know what about that scenario. It was just the first time I ever felt like a really big heartbreak. Mm-hmm. And it's just amazing how, even though I don't long for that person, that feeling of that heartbreak and having been wronged has, like, I had been carrying it around for a while. So then I wrote this little song, and I wrote this on the piano. And then I was like, that's okay. It's like a piano song. And then I tried it on guitar. I liked it a lot better. Nice. So it's called Wasted. And if y'all like my music and you go on this website, for the most part, I made this website myself. My husband helped too. But the thing that I'm really proud of is I made a clickable link at the top where you can join my mailing list. That's my sales pitch. I worked really hard to figure out how to do that, and you can put your email on it and make me the happiest camper in the world. All right. I did this song at my show the other night, and I was so excited. I had a videographer there, and I was really pumped for him to capture it, and I messed up the words. It's the worst feeling when you mess up your own lyrics. Sometimes I dream about you. Sometimes I pace the floor, wishing these silent movies wouldn't plague me anymore. I've moved on, I think, but in quiet moments, like washing dishes at the sink, I remember throwing back a bottle of wine. I was so sure that you were mine. I was wasted all that time. So here I am, maturely thinking that I was so naive. You could have brought me home. And you crossed the lines when you wanted to once they were drawn. I had no say and I let you take me down, down, down. And I remember throwing back a bottle of wine. I was so sure that you were mine. I was wasted. Oh, that time when I was waiting for your voice soft and clear to tell me what I wanna hear, that it wasn't wasted time, and you were always gonna be mine.
Oh my goodness.
So that's one that I am like, that's a heavy contender to record next month.
Yes, good. That's a masterpiece, and I'm happy I can go back to this little video around 1:05, I think, to listen to it whenever I want now. No, I mean 1 hour and 5 minutes. I can go back to that time.
And I'm going to savor this moment forever when you told me I made a masterpiece, because that might be
really
the only
is
time in my life anyone says that to me.
That's the truth, though. That was amazing. I was just like, for every word.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it was just like, I mean, every line in that I have lived. Like, I did all those things. Mm-hmm. Oh, man, I'm just so glad I don't have to live that anymore. Everyone should go to therapy. It's the best thing. Oh, man, Sarah Gabriel, thank you. And Anne, thank you. Everyone needs therapy.
Yeah.
It's going to be my new merch.
That sounds awesome.
I just feel like everyone needs a once-a-month massage and a once-a-month check-in.
Yep.
Right? Like, we would all just
amazing.
be
Like,
a
that's
better
what we need.
society. Thank you, Teresa. So, Molly, this is me. I'm not good at math, but we go till about 8:30, and it's 8:06. So I feel like Christian said some of us already have it. Right on. I feel like we can get maybe 2 more rounds in.
Cool.
Let's try. Let's see what we can do. And I just want to let everybody know, I don't know where you stand on the whole Spotify thing, but I still think that it is an important tool for independent artists. I'm not counting on it to pay my bills, but it is an important tool for us to find fans. So if you like what we're doing, please follow us on Spotify. And if you follow me, I have a playlist with all of my guests that I have on this show. There's a 2021 version, and there's a new version. I have Molly's music on it too. So please follow. All you, girl.
Thank you. So this next song is called Our Little School, and I work as an elementary school counselor at Rodman School, which is in New Bedford. And I wrote this for my students to talk about how there are like systematic oppressions and difficult things that they face, to acknowledge that, and then also to say that we can create like a pocket of change at our school, and there can be hope, and we can get through it together. So this is Our Little School. I see you standing there, you look so sweet. I wish that I could take you home with me, but I can't. I wish I could. Cause you're a special darling as can be. The light in your eyes is glistening. Don't give up. No matter what. And I know this world can be so cruel, and I know it's scary when there's creeps and ghouls, but we've got fairy dust and magic in our little school to protect you. Doesn't that sound cool? Doesn't that sound cool? The system sadly isn't on your side. It's out to get you and make you cry. It's a monster, but we can face it together. Oh, we'll be superheroes, we'll save the day. 'Cause love and laughter keep evil away. We can do it if we stick together. And I know this world can be so cruel, and I know it's scary when there's creeps and ghouls, but we've got fairy dust and magic in our little school to protect you. Yeah, doesn't that sound cool? Doesn't that sound cool? Darling, you are loved, and you are enough. And when life gets hard, just know I'm always in your heart.
Those students are so lucky to have you.
I'm lucky to have them. Thank you.
Well, that's the sign of a good teacher. or you know, you're not a teacher, but just when you work with kids, like to recognize that they are giving back to you too. I hadn't even intended to talk about this tonight. For most of my career, I've taught students like 65 kids a week, and I had to, once I had my son, I had to, like, I couldn't be a full-time mom and a full-time singer and a full-time teacher. And I had to pick one, so I stopped teaching, and I think, like, I knew how much those kids meant to me. I knew it. But one of them passed away last week, and I just was like, which is this moment of realizing what a huge impact they've had on me. Like, you know, all these little people that make me feel like there's still magic in the world, and I'm going to cry. And like the idea of fairy dust. And I think like that's just part of the job of teachers and people who work with kids, is to like help kids believe and remember that like mermaids and fairy dusts are real. Like that's the world I want to live in. Like magic is real, right? And even if it's just when you manifest it, right? And you like are just yourself, like that is the magic of the world. But you just made me feel it. So thank you, Molly O'Leary, for that. Oh man. I want to sing my song about. I've got one just about the subject we've been talking about a lot, about like the messaging that the world gives to young people, boys and girls. I mean, I can only speak to what it's like to be a little girl growing up with messaging that you need to be a Barbie to be valuable. But you know. It's hard for guys too, and what I've learned is like people assume that boys don't struggle with body image issues and eating disorder issues, and it's even harder for them to get help because so many of the facilities are for girls only. Just a little tidbit, has nothing to do with my song, really. But so this song is just about, like, the moment that I realized I had been carrying around hatred for my body since I was, like, 10. And I had this epiphany within the last year. And, like, that's a long time to carry that around. And I don't want to carry that around anymore, this emotional baggage. And nobody should, because there's fairy dust and mermaids, and they're real. Keith is just saying... Keith is going back to talking about refusing to be weighed and that for him it's like not that important. So just to reiterate to everybody, like, you don't have to be weighed at your doctor's appointments. If it makes you feel uncomfortable, then don't do it. Okay, here's my song. You know, sometimes, and I'd love to know, Molly, after this, if you've had this experience too. Like, sometimes you write a song and it's just like, oh, cool, I made a thing. There's the thing I made. But then sometimes you write a song, and like while you're writing it, you can truly feel yourself channeling that emotion. And that's how I felt with this song, probably because it was just something I had been carrying around in me for so long. And just a message, you know, if you've got little people in your life, they're just learning how to be humans, and they're watching you. They're watching how you are a human, and that's the message that they're taking. Ten. It feels like a long time to carry around weight you don't need, worrying about what they all see. Cover your flaws up, but not too much makeup. A real lady crosses her legs, never asks, never begs. And what will they think of you if they could see you now? Oh, get you a hardened heart if you're gonna play your part. Those words were never meant to be remembered, but youth has a strong memory. When you're learning to be 15 feels like a long time, checking my face in the mirror to make sure my skin is clear, so they don't see me as less than I wanna be. And I can't stand next to you when I'm trying to hide that it's true. And what would they think of you if you're always asking for it? Oh, get you a hardened heart if you're gonna play your part. Those words were never meant to be remembered, but youth has a strong memory. When you're learning to be, I remember asking why God gave me these thighs, like some kind of joke. It's hard to love your frame when they give it a name. And just like that, you're learning to be. Those words were never meant to be remembered, but But youth is a strong memory when you're learning to be. Thank you.
That was so good, and I wish I could show it, but I can't show it with like the way my setup is right now. But my cat was just like, for almost the whole song, just like sat right in front of my laptop screen and was just like watching you. It was the funniest thing. It was so cute, but
He could tell I was a cat lover.
It was so cute, but it's just obviously a wonderful song because she just like got up and listened the whole time. It was adorable.
Man, I have 3 cats that I got when I first got my very first apartment all by myself, and they were with me forever. They were born in 2009, and then I bought a house, and my mom moved in with me, and there was us with the cats. And well, when I got married, I moved to my husband's house, and I didn't want to take the cats with me because we live in the middle of the woods with big dogs, and the door's open, and I thought the cats would get out, and I was worried for them. So I miss my cats so much. They keep my mom company, but there's nothing like a cat cuddle.
No.
Anyway, I'm getting all Twitter pated over cats. Hey, Melody, thank you for being here tonight. So, Molly O'Leary, we have time for one more round. Is there anything, like promotion-wise, you want to make sure we mention again? Like, I got one. Wait, go to this website.
You're so high tech. I'm so impressed.
And that one. You can go to that one.
Yes.
And either of those will have information about The Last Band Standing.
Yes,
right?
definitely. Okay. Yep. On my website, mollyo'learymusic.com. On the Facebook page, Molly O'Leary Music. If you're on Instagram, it is also Molly O'Leary Music.
Easy to remember.
So, yep.
You are such a gift and such a beautiful person. Like, I don't know if it's really cheesy for me to say. I might hear myself say this later and be like, why did I say that? But I just feel like your inner beauty shines, like, even from where I see you on the internet.
So nice.
I just want you to know, like, it is projected into the world, and your kids are so lucky to have you. So, anyway.
Thank you.
That's my sappy comment. What are you going to play for
us?
us?
So much. I really appreciate it. And thank you for, like, always supporting me and my music. And I feel like I've been, like, messaging you, like, questions. And I'm like, I hope I'm not annoying Grace. But
no,
you're just
never.
so nice.
Well, here's the thing. I've found in teaching, too, like, the best way to learn something is to teach it to somebody else. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's like give and take. Helps you, helps me. I'll share anything I know.
Thank you. All right, so I'm going to do one more, and this song is called Come to the Coven, and I'm going to continue and close out with that theme of magic, and this song is about the magic of friendship. So this one goes out to all my friends, including you, Grace, and thank you all for watching. And yeah, friendships are pretty magical, so that's what this song is about. All right, just make sure we get that here. Walking through the darkness, down an ancient way, lost and alone. I was so afraid when something familiar took my hand. A red-headed witch helped me stand, and she said, come to the coven, and come as you are. We'll dance around the maple underneath the stars. We came here as broken, beaten down souls, but with the help of friends, now we are whole. Oh, 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 oh. walk to the ocean to be reborn. The water reminds us we've been here before. Listen to the lions roar. Look at the mallard soar. If you take my hand now, this too can be yours. As we sing, come to the coven and come as you are. We'll dance around the maple underneath the stars. The king here is broken, beaten down souls, but with the help of friends, now we are whole. Oh, 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 come to the coven.
Gorgeous.
Thank you.
Oh, I just love you.
Yeah, me too.
So, I was trying to think if I had anything in the ballpark of what you're talking about, like a love song for friends. And the one I can think of is a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you saw my post, but I was having a hard time writing a song for like 2 days. Now, in retrospect, I recognize that there are people who struggle for like months and years to write songs, and I was kind of an ass for complaining about the 2 days. I got it. But I put this post up and I was like, guys, I haven't been able to write a song for 2 days. Am I even a songwriter anymore? And I was being a little bit facetious, but man, the support was like overflowing in the comments of people who are like, you can do this, you got this. And I just felt so seen and supported. And then I instantly wrote a song and I was like, I'm an ass because some people can't remember.
I saw that post though. It was beautiful.
my friend Melody says, well, I hope you don't mind, Melody. I'm going to show this because I want Molly to see this.
Aww. That's so nice.
Melody, you are so welcome. I'm really, really thrilled to be able to.
Let's be friends.
Yes, let's all be friends. So this song was kind of about like the healing nature of music, and like for me, well, we're talking about magic. For me, music makes me feel like I am connected to the elders, like I'm connected to my people who have gone on before me, like I can sing and they hear it, or if I'm playing traditional Celtic tunes, like I feel really rooted in my ancestry. And so the song was kind of about that, and it's kind of about like the support that I got about songwriting, and it's kind of about like just like the point of music is to feel together. And I think I'm not scientific at all. What is the thing? Is it dopamine or serotonin? What's the happy one? Are they both happy ones?
Yes, I had that same question the other day, and I didn't Google it. What would I do without Google? But one of those.
One of those too. And there was some article I read about how when you're in a collective musical experience, like at a concert, it just being in community with people hearing the same song does something to your whichever one of those levels it is. So that was the thought behind this song, and it may not be the best one I ever wrote, but it's fun. So this is called not alone. Most days it's get up and get to it, don't think too hard. Put yourself right through it, get in your car. And forget for a minute that you drive too far. And get lost in a song that can bring you back to your heart. 'Cause all we've got to know is we're not alone. All we've got to know is fear is age old. And when Father Time starts taking away your shine, start fighting back with song. 'Cause we are not alone. I've been grinding away at a job that don't pay my worth. Smiling through it all makes your soul hurt. Remember for a minute that you used to glow. Sometimes all it takes is the rosin on a bow. 'Cause all we've got to know is we're not alone. All we've got to know is fear is age old. And when Father Time starts taking away your shine, start fighting back with song. 'Cause we are not alone. It can be easy to forget the faces that we met, the failures and success, the time we've passed the test, and when you've gone with grace, brought smiles to their faces, dancing with your babies. 'Cause all we've got to know is we're not alone. All we've got to know is fear is age old. And when Father Time starts taking away your shine, start fighting back with song. 'Cause we are not alone. No, we are not Thank you, Molly O'Leary.
Yes, I love that, Grace. I'm gonna have that stuck in my head all night, just like
Yes.
jamming, which is a good song to have stuck in my head.
Thank you. So make sure if you use Spotify to go follow both of us on there, and you'll find my Virtual World Tour 22 playlist, and I'm going to add Molly to that. And I just want to thank Denise for her bunny Mocha hanging out by the laptop while the cat was listening, the bunny was listening too. Mm-hmm. And thank you everybody for contributing to the comment section, because it really makes this feel like a little community hanging out. I do this every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then if you are in the Massachusetts area and you want to support Molly, go to her website, mollyolearymusic.com, and I'll put it up one more time.
Yay. And Grace, I'm going to show you my cat real quick because I took my phone off the stand.
Yes, cat.
Okay. This is the cat.
Oh,
right?
Is that Luna?
This is Luna, and then here's the...
Oh, no. We lost her. Maybe she'll pop right back in. I'll leave it up for a second. I'm such a cat person. Oh, and John May was here tonight. John has mastered every single piece of music I've ever put out since at least 2009. Oh, here she is. She's back.
Sorry, my phone couldn't handle the cat.
It's okay.
It was like cuteness overload.
What is it? So you have two cats and they're from the same litter?
Yeah, they're brother and sister, Loki and Luna.
What's Loki?
Yep.
I love that. Can I tell you my cat's ridiculous names?
Yes.
Your cat's names are lovely. So I got my cat because now my niece and I are the same age. And she had a litter of kittens. And I still lived with my mom. So these cats were born and she was like, Grace, do you want this cat? They need homes. And I was like, well, I live with my mom. I can't really do that. So I most definitely got my first apartment so I could have a cat. So I accepted the one cat. And my great niece had named her kitten from the litter Rock Beetle Brian.
What is it again? Rock
Beetle Brian. And I said to her, she was like 4, and I said, honey, what should Auntie name her cat? And she goes, Rock Stone Jake. So the cat that I initially was going to get was named Rock Stone Jake.
Wow. And
then I got my apartment. And then she's like, wait a second, there's one more kitten without a home. And what does one do when presented with a kitten that needs a home? You don't think about it. There's no logic involved. You just take the cat. So this cat was nameless. And I had like my very first crazy raging party with all these 22-year-old people in my apartment. And I was like, guys, what should we name my cat? And so it was Yoda. So I have Rockstone, Jake, and Yoda. And then like 5 years ago, the same thing happened. Someone was like, this kitten needs a home. And I was like, I definitely need a third cat. And I'm pretty sure it had like a normal name. And then on the ride home, it just kept going, meow, meow. So that's Mew. That's a really long story about my silly cat names.
That's amazing. I loved every word of it.
But Luna and Loki, those are lovely names, and they have alliteration, and they're beautiful. Yeah. And you have a cat on your shirt. It's like full circle.
I know.
If I had known,
today.
I would have worn my cat sweatshirt. Denise just liked your page. Thank you, Denise.
Thank you.
All right. I could chat all night. Thank you for hanging out with me, Molly.
Yes,
Have
thank
a
you
good
for
night,
having me. It was
everybody.
so much fun.
Oh, it was super fun.